just wanna be her. For your mom to your pop to the beat to the bird, man. Cut right off on the curb. Like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my home team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog. I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like blah. Yeah, and it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. Whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like what? Whole squad like yeah. And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. Whole squad like yeah. And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. You don't want problems. You don't want smoke, no. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I said you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want. Yeah, I pissed so my frustration. I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece. That mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't ride it. We break you down like a pound. I got it, dog pounders surround me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bumpy. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like blah, yeah. And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. Whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like what? Whole squad like yeah. And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. Whole squad like yeah. And it feel like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, the rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well, too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's second down. And now an introduction here to the starting 11 on offense.
Let's take a look at Willie Snead, wide receiver, undrafted coming into the league. He's the quintessential coach's son. Knows how to play the game so well and plays it with joy.
Now a First carry for Derrick Henry. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively. No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. On the defensive side, this is the starting lineup for the Bills. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league. So I'm prepping for this game. I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass? And? Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you. To throw again on second down. Jackson, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. So that flag will cost him 15. And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards. So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Jackson, options out left. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback. Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. A full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They go play action now. Jackson. He'll buy some time right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down. He was able to get away earlier in the drive, but apparently all the time they put in practice finally came to the front, didn't it? They remembered their lessons and found a way to contain him when he took off on that one. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson outright. This is Boyle, the tight end. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end. Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless. Jackson. He may try and run for this. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down. And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker Justin Tucker out onto the field. This from 44 yards out, left hash. Tucker's kick is good. And the Ravens strike first at 3's in. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there. Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender,
it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. Commanding the offense will be the 7th overall pick of the 2018 draft. It's Josh Allen.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
On the ground, it's Eckler. And he's not going anywhere to start the night. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. Now let's take a look here at the Bills' offense.
In the NFL, we love to talk about bloodlines and how important they can be. And for Zay Jones, he's got a terrific one. His dad, Robert, longtime linebacker in the NFL, big time with the Dallas Cowboys. And his uncle, Jeff Blake, a starting quarterback in the NFL at one point. What if he played catch with Uncle Jeff in the backyard a few times growing up?
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there, first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Allen fakes the give and keeps himself. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there and a first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Allen going to throw. And an alley to run. And avoids the contact by sliding. Josh Allen, very athletic at 6'5", showing the versatility, picking up the first on the scramble.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it 2nd down and 11. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. Allen hit. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 44. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. And we were down on the field watching Henry warm up before the game. He's a big man. No wonder he breaks those tackles.
And you remember what I told you when we were watching? It's not all pads. I mean, you get him out of pads and just see him in a regular suit or an outfit. He is a huge human being and a lot faster than what people know. When he gets rolling, he's a lot to bring down.
10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Ryan Grant, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens will add on to their lead.
That drive was quick and impressive. Almost like they had somewhere else they needed to be after the game.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
On 2nd down, Eckler trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Nothing doing on 2nd and 3rd down after that 9-yard gain on 1st. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Derrick Henry trots back out there and gets ready to go. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, trying to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. The end result, 21 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. A first down carry for Henry. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And he is going to lose yardage here. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Jackson's throw on target to Willie Snead. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Throw left side, complete. It's Ingram. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And how about the dime look here? 6 DBs on 3rd and inches.
Daring them to run the ball.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. Here's Jackson to throw, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his second touchdown on the season, and the Ravens will extend their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the gadget play gets him into the end zone. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Let's go, B, let's go.
A final shot before half for Allen. Looking downfield for Jones. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. David Montgomery, a touchdown run in the victory. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to the Motor City to check on the Lions at home in Detroit. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. And then finally, we'll wrap up the week on Monday Night Football with a good one between the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
I'm not controlling the weather.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. 2 yards, good enough for a first. First down, and they stick with Eckler.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Allen fakes the give and keeps himself. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. A big play here for Buffalo. 42 yards.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And the grab by Croft. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. Throwing again on 2nd down. Allen. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Throwing now is Allen. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 16 yards, a first down.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Watch the screen! Watch the screen! Watch the
Again to Henry. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Come on. Tight ends on the loosey. Tight ends on the loosey. Let it go.
Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson on the move to his left. Finding room inside the 40. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory as they're down to the 29-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. Just his 2nd incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it, because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good, and that'll push the lead up to 17. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And he'll make it across the 20, as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back. But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
To throw, it's Allen. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force.
Pressure comes and it's blocked. The Ravens block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. They'll put that block on top of the nice lead that they have, and now it's trouble here in the third quarter on the other sideline.
Well, I think it's more than trouble. They're just trying to figure out how to survive through this ball game now. They're about to really lay it down on them.
And they can just run some clock, get this thing to the fourth quarter, try to put it on cruise control.
Single.
And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
On second down, here's Henry. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Throwing is Jackson. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Foul, face mask, defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now Allen. And Beasley with it over the middle. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Eluding the pressure right. Short throw hauled in by Croft. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why...
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, it's Allen. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
This quarterback now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on 1st down. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. 10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Bills get a bit closer.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set. And racing, going 3 wide is a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. It's up. It's true as they get back in a bit here. It's now 23-10. That time a 6-play drive, and it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Derrick Henry. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. They'll run on 1st down. It's Henry, and this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, they give to Ingram. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. Here's Jackson rolling to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. The big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a 1st down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Let's go.
Still 1st down.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
I got it. What? Go.
After the penalty, it's Henry. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. This will be caught once again by Brown.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Josh Allen in the offense now. Down by 13. Under a minute 20 to go. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been...
Oh, Allen cannot get away, and down he goes. Michael Bennett, the former Texas A&M Aggie, dropping the hammer.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead. And they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Ravens are looking like they're going to come away with a victory. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. Down to a knee goes Jackson, and that should seal it. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So